Hey there, this is John,
And this is Bobby.
and we are here to talk about the 2018 football season, particularly the results of Week 10. So let's talk about what happened this past week, Bobby. First was Temple playing UCF. That was a Thursday night game, and it was a struggle.
Yeah, it was a tough game for a half. UCF defense is not a part of this team.
Not a lot.
But I will say this. They've given up, and then you look at the last 3 to 4 games, they give up a ton of points in the first half, and they've only given up a touchdown, no more than 10 points in the second half of the last 4 or 5 games. So this game, they only gave up 6 points in the second half. Yep. So they found a way to make halftime adjustments, but you didn't expect Temple to throw 40 on them. But again.
But Temple's not a bad team this year.
No, they're not.
You know, I mean, I think that's one thing. So this is not good for UCF when it comes to the overall picture. To have it even close, and you know, once again, their best bet is to blow out teams throughout the end of the season, and the end of their season is actually tougher than the beginning. So, all right, then we had Louisville and Clemson, and this one was sad.
Lamar Jackson did not make it to the game.
this one, 77-16. So basically, Clemson just kept on pounding. And the majority of this was on the ground. Mm-hmm. They had 3 running backs that got over 100 yards.
Yeah, I think that what's the quarterback's name? Trevor Lawrence didn't throw for more than 10 passes. He did like 9 passes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess there was no reason to, but yeah.
So doesn't tell us too much. I mean, you knew Clemson was going to run through them, but they seem to be clicking under Trevor Lawrence. And it'll be interesting to see how they get.
Even though Trevor Lawrence was not a factor necessarily in that game. Yeah. All right. So then, as far as the SEC, we talk about Georgia and Kentucky, and somebody mentioned that Kentucky had a chance in this, and you weren't alone though.
Yeah.
I mean, there were ESPN analysts that were saying that Kentucky had a chance in this game, and I mean, it wasn't a complete blowout. Kentucky did put up a fight through a good bit of the game. But in the end, I mean, 34-17.
I think they just glaringly didn't have enough offense. Georgia was able to run the ball, but you just see come back to the quarterback position, and this Kentucky doesn't have that position yet. When they have positions all over the place that are really good, but not quarterback.
Yeah. So Georgia clinches the East with that one, and we'll go to the SEC championship game. And then we have number 13, West Virginia. Played at Texas, and that one
best game of the week.
Yeah,
that was the game of the week.
I mean, it's potentially one of the best games of the year. Yeah. I mean, it was just a great game. It was a fight all the way down to the finish. Really, really fun game to watch. Really.
Will Greer with that heads-up play. It wasn't even a design play for the 2-point conversion, and he actually just took off and ran. And so, man, you got to give West Virginia credit. I like Holgorsen as a coach. Bold call. He called it even before they got there. So I like West Virginia. I think they got a chance to beat Oklahoma. I think it'll be a really neat showdown in a couple weeks when they go against each other.
I think so too. That one was 42-41. Yeah, last second West Virginia sneaking it in there. It was really good. Then we had Penn State was at Michigan, and this was just painful. It was number 14 against number 5, but it really wasn't. And 42-7, so yeah.
All we can say is Michigan is on a roll right now. They're playing as good as anybody in the country, and I think a lot of people are giving them grace for that first week loss to Notre Dame. Yeah. They look a lot stronger even than Notre Dame right now.
They've come on really strong. I'd love to see that matchup done again at this point. Then we had the greatly vaulted game of Alabama versus LSU, and Alabama. Well, I'll say this. Okay, it was 29-0. Mm-hmm. Alabama's defense definitely stepped up, did a great job. Just shut LSU down offensively. But kudos to LSU as far as their defense because nobody's kept them Alabama to 29 points yet.
Sure, and LSU, nobody has played them that tough. And especially defensively, they gave them as much of a fight as anyone could expect. I would think if Clemson and Alabama played each other down the road, both teams are going to score more than 29 points. So I think LSU, give them credit. And Tua hung in there.
Yeah. Even though I tell you, he says he's 100%, but it looks to me like he's sort of limping around out there. Yeah. But he's not limping near as bad as Jalen Hurts is limping. Jalen Hurts can barely walk.
Sure.
And so, yeah, that would really put Alabama in a really bad position if Tua ended up getting hurt and Jalen's not able to play.
But I think we could give Bama credit for this because that environment was loud. It was rowdy. It was. I mean, there were so many false starts at the beginning of the game, and Bama withstood that and kept fighting. And I mean, 29-0 is a very impressive win.
Yeah, and for them to clinch the West, so that means it is Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship game. Now, there were a couple landmark things that did happen in that game. One, Alabama didn't score on their opening drive, and that was pretty amazing. The second thing that happened was that Tua finally threw an interception.
A nice punt.
Huh?
A nice punt.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a great thing, putting it down on the 5-yard line. So it was really good. But in some ways, it sort of takes that. I can't throw an interception out of the off the board now. It's like, okay, so he's human. Then again for Boise State, wow, I mean,
second best game probably of the weekend.
Yeah,
I would say.
And so with this one, BYU, they hung in there tough. Boise State was, we thought Boise State would win it, but wow, I mean, BYU really gave them a hard time.
Yeah,
and the end of that game was quite an ending.
Feel like in the third quarter, Boise was going to pull away, but then they just kept staying around, and Boise all of a sudden stalls and does nothing offensively. So credit BYU for hanging around, but also credit Boise for making enough plays there at the end to kind of put this one away with the last second.
Oh, last second. Yeah, keeping them out of the end zone was big. Josh's upsets of the week were only upsets to Josh. Boston College at Virginia Tech.
They used to talk about the lunch pail defense. Get out of this stupid. There's no lunch pail defense. They're just terrible.
Yeah, defensively, they didn't look good at all, Bobby. I agree with you. And so Boston College is still hanging in there, still ranked, and it was 31-21. But it was an ugly game on Virginia Tech's part. Yeah. So then we had Notre Dame was at Northwestern. Josh was looking for an upset there, but Northwestern couldn't pull it off.
But they hung in there.
The same score,
31-21.
They did hang in there, but as was most people expected, Notre Dame was able to win that.
But Notre Dame actually wasn't able to run the ball as effectively as they said. They had to rely on Ian Bookmore, which is interesting because not that Northwestern's a bad team, but you'd expect them to be able to kind of assert their will, so to speak, running the football, and they weren't able to. So that's an interesting sign for down the road.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us in Week 10 results. Join us again as we talk about Week 11.